Perhaps you've noticed it too, that feeling in your 40s and 50s where the dietary habits that once served you well suddenly seem to not. You might find the jeans fitting a little tighter around the waist, or that afternoon slump feels deeper after certain meals, making you wonder what's truly shifted. It's frustrating when you're making similar choices to your younger self, yet your body seems to respond differently. We often assume that if our weight or pant size remains constant, our body composition must be the same. But here's where that assumption can mislead us, hinting at a more profound, yet often invisible, metabolic transformation occurring within. What if a subtle, ongoing change in our internal machinery, rather than just our choices, is quietly redefining how our body processes every bite? This quiet shift we're discussing is often rooted in the gradual loss of our body's primary metabolic engine, our muscle mass. It's a process known medically as sarcopenia, and it's far more impactful than many realize. While our brain is a significant consumer of glucose, utilizing about 25% of the sugar circulating in our system daily, it's our skeletal muscles that truly drive our overall metabolic rate. Think of your muscles as the body's primary calorie burners at rest. They are dense with mitochondria, the powerhouses that efficiently convert food into energy. Regrettably, for most individuals after the age of 40, we typically begin to experience a decline of approximately 1 and 3% of our muscle mass each year. This might not sound like much initially, but it compounds swiftly. Many assume that if their clothing size or scale weight hasn't drastically changed, their body composition must be stable. However, sophisticated imaging like whole-body MRI scans often reveal a different story. What often happens is that while a limb's circumference, like your thigh, might seem similar to your younger years, a significant portion of that volume has transitioned from metabolically active muscle into less efficient fat tissue. This intramuscular fat infiltration fundamentally alters your body's metabolic capacity. This is a critical insight because it means the metabolic machinery that allowed you to process those pizzas, chips, and treats effortlessly in your 20s and 30s is subtly diminishing. Your muscles were once the hungry, efficient consumers of calories. Now there are fewer of them, and those remaining might be less effective at their job. Here's where this becomes clinically important. When we consume carbohydrates and proteins, our pancreas releases insulin, a crucial hormone often described as a salesperson. Insulin's primary role is to sell or transport glucose and amino acids from your bloodstream into your cells, particularly your muscle cells, for energy or storage. In our younger years, with ample active muscle mass, insulin had an easy job. Muscles were hungry and receptive, readily taking up what insulin offered. However, as we age, two key factors typically emerge. Firstly, our activity levels often decrease. Responsibilities like carpooling replace active leisure, and jobs become more sedentary. Secondly, and critically, we have less muscle mass overall, and the remaining muscle cells may become less sensitive to insulin signals. This reduced sensitivity is known as insulin resistance. What this looks like day to day is that your body, facing less receptive muscle cells, still needs to clear glucose and amino acids from your bloodstream. To compensate, your pancreas works harder, producing more and more insulin to try and achieve the same effect. This sustained high insulin level then signals your body to prioritize converting those excess carbohydrates and proteins into fat, especially around the midsection and within organs like the liver. It's a survival mechanism from an evolutionary past when food was scarce, storing energy for future famine. In our modern environment of abundant calories, this mechanism now works against us, contributing to unwanted weight gain and health challenges, even if your eating habits haven't dramatically shifted from your younger days. This also illuminates why rapid weight loss interventions such as certain medications can sometimes lead to visible Ozempic face or Ozempic body, a disproportionate loss of muscle alongside fat, underscoring the body's dependence on muscle for overall structural and metabolic health. This is where many people are surprised. But understanding these intricate metabolic shifts allows us to formulate a more effective strategy for managing our health as we age. Given this understanding of how our metabolism shifts, How can we adapt our dietary approach? The goal is not just about calorie restriction, but about providing your body with signals that support muscle maintenance and metabolic efficiency. First, let's address protein. It's widely recognized that protein is essential for muscle health. However, the common approach of relying heavily on concentrated protein powders may not be optimal for long-term muscle synthesis. When we consume whole, intact proteins, the digestive process itself consumes a significant amount of energy, what's called the thermic effect of food. The slower digestion and absorption allows for a more sustained release of amino acids, which our muscles can then efficiently utilize for repair and growth. Highly processed protein isolates, like many powders, are absorbed rapidly, sometimes overwhelming the muscle's immediate capacity for synthesis, leading to excess amino acids being converted into glucose and stored as fat. This is the part many people overlook, the idea that more protein always equals more muscle. While adequate protein is crucial, the body has a limit to how quickly it can synthesize new muscle tissue. Clinical studies suggest that for significant muscle gain, only a modest additional amount of protein, perhaps just a few grams daily above baseline requirements, is truly needed, provided you are also engaging in resistance exercise. In fact, many individuals in Western societies already consume double or even quadruple the baseline protein needed for simple maintenance. So, rather than focusing on excessive protein supplementation, consider prioritizing quality whole food protein sources. The ideal timing for protein intake is indeed after exercise, when muscles are most receptive to repair. But opting for a natural fermented protein stick or a piece of wild fish may offer greater benefit than a fast-absorbing shake. Next, we must critically reevaluate our carbohydrate intake. What many overlook is that all digestible carbohydrates ultimately convert into glucose or sugar in our bodies. To gain clarity, develop a habit of reading food labels beyond just the sugars line. Look at total carbohydrates, and then subtract fiber. The resulting number represents the net carbohydrates that will impact your blood sugar. A useful mental exercise is to remember that every 4 grams of net carbohydrates is roughly equivalent to 1 teaspoon of sugar. Performing this sugar math on packaged foods can be truly eye-opening, revealing hidden sugar loads that contribute to metabolic strain. Consistently choosing foods with the lowest net carbohydrate content and highest fiber supports satiety and helps moderate glucose absorption. Now, this is where it gets interesting. One often misunderstood dietary factor is fructose, commonly found in many fruits and processed foods. While fruit has been historically promoted as universally healthy, modern understanding highlights a unique metabolic pathway for fructose. Around 10 million years ago, a genetic mutation occurred in grade H, leading to a reduced ability to break down uric acid, a compound linked to fructose metabolism. This FRIFT gene allowed these primates to rapidly convert fruit sugar into fat stores, which was advantageous during periods of food scarcity or seasonal abundance. However, we inherited the same genetic predisposition. In our current environment of year-round fruit availability and widespread added fructose in processed foods, this once beneficial mechanism now works against us. Fructose is primarily metabolized by the liver, and excessive intake can directly contribute to fatty liver disease, elevate uric acid levels, which can lead to gout, contribute to high blood pressure, and even kidney damage, and critically, promote insulin resistance. Therefore, while some fruits, particularly berries or kiwis, offer beneficial antioxidants and fiber, it's wise to prioritize lower fructose, in-season, organic varieties and moderate consumption, especially avoiding the oversized, hyper-sweetened fruits bred for today's market, like many common apples. Another essential dietary cornerstone to embrace is extra virgin olive oil. This isn't just a culinary ingredient, it's a powerful, functional food. Its rich content of monounsaturated fatty acids and abundant polyphenols provides significant anti-inflammatory and antioxidant benefits. These compounds may help support mitochondrial health, improve cellular function, and enhance overall metabolic resilience. Incorporating a generous amount of high-quality olive oil into your daily diet Perhaps pouring it over meals or even taking a daily shot mirrors the dietary patterns of populations known for their longevity and metabolic health, like those in the Mediterranean where per capita consumption is notably high. Asterisk, and this next piece explains why HAS, considering the source and type of animal proteins you consume, is important. Shifting towards pastured poultry, wild-caught fish, and shellfish offers distinct advantages. These sources generally provide a more favorable omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acid ratio, which is crucial for modulating inflammation throughout the body. They also tend to have a higher micronutrient density and are less likely to contain residues from antibiotics or hormones often found in conventionally raised animals. These protein choices not only support muscle maintenance, but also contribute to a healthier inflammatory profile, which is foundational for metabolic well-being. Understanding these metabolic shifts and adapting our dietary choices isn't just about weight management. It's about nurturing a state of systemic balance that impacts virtually every aspect of our health. What we choose to consume directly influences our hormonal balance, everything from insulin and cortisol levels to sex hormones, all of which play a role in muscle maintenance and fat metabolism. Poor dietary choices can trigger systemic inflammation, which is a silent disruptor, hindering cellular repair and contributing to insulin resistance. Moreover, the quality of our diet interacts profoundly with stress physiology. A body under metabolic strain from processed foods is often less resilient to psychological stressors, creating a vicious cycle where stress hormones can further promote fat storage and muscle breakdown. Similarly, optimizing nutrient absorption through whole, unprocessed foods ensures that our cells receive the micronutrients vital for efficient energy production and cellular repair. And let's not forget the crucial role of sleep quality. Inadequate rest disrupts metabolic hormones and accelerates muscle catabolism. Finally, healthy circulation is essential for delivering nutrients and oxygen to our muscles, supporting their function and growth. Therefore, the dietary adjustments we've discussed, such as prioritizing quality proteins, moderating net carbohydrates, choosing healthy fats, and being mindful of fructose, are not isolated interventions. They're interconnected pillars supporting a robust internal environment, fostering metabolic flexibility, and helping your body operate more efficiently as you age. It's about creating a supportive physiological landscape where your muscles can thrive and your metabolic engine can run smoothly, rather than feeling constantly overwhelmed. As you begin to integrate these dietary and lifestyle considerations, it's important to approach them with realistic expectations. Metabolic changes, particularly those aimed at rebuilding muscle and improving insulin sensitivity, are a gradual process. You may first notice subtle internal shifts, such as improved energy levels, greater mental clarity, or more stable blood sugar, long before significant visible changes appear on the scale or in your physique. Our bodies operate on biological timelines, not instant gratification. Consistency in your food choices, movement, and sleep hygiene will yield far more sustainable and profound results than short bursts of intense, restrictive efforts. The goal is to cultivate a supportive internal environment that allows your body to regain its metabolic efficiency over time, honoring its inherent rhythms and capacity for repair. By making these conscious choices, you're not just dieting, you're actively supporting your body's intrinsic ability to maintain vitality and metabolic health as you move through life. If you found this discussion insightful, please consider subscribing to stay informed about optimizing your health. And I'd love to hear from you. In the comments below, share what age you are, or perhaps one specific health concern or question that resonates with you after watching this. Your insights help guide future discussions. This content is educational only and not medical advice. For persistent concerns, consult a qualified professional.